All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the May 2021 Argo CD and Rollouts community meeting. I'm your host, Jesse Suin. I'm a principal engineer at Intuit and one of the maintainers of the Argo project. We have a great agenda for today. Today, CodeFresh will be presenting a project that they've been working on and that we've been consulting with called Argo CD Autopilot. Which is a opinionated way for you to manage your Argo CD application installations in your Git repositories. Just a reminder, these meetings are recorded and will be uploaded to YouTube. Before we get into the autopilot, just a quick announcement about, let me share the screen. Quick announcement, Argo Rollouts, the first release candidate for Argo Rollouts has been released last week. So we want to make this available so that we can get some bake time in the community. It's been installed in the half a dozen clusters inside R at Intuit. So far, so good. And some of the kind of highlights of the release are that we do have a new UI, which I think we presented this at a previous meeting. This one we might not have presented or demoed yet, but with rollouts, it's now possible to reference existing workloads instead of inlining a pod template, a whole pod template. So if you are migrating from, say, a deployment, you can actually leave that deployment in your namespace, scale down to 0, and then actually reference it using a rollout. So this is a new feature in 1.0. And then there's some more, we have support for Ambassador, which was also presented a while back, and the ability to do some different canarying in Istio using destination roles. So I encourage you, if you're a rollout user, to give this a try. And within, hopefully in 2 weeks or so, that it should be generally available. Okay, so that's all I had. Itai, do you want to take over?
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I will share my screen. Second. Okay, great. So we've been working in CodeFresh for the past 1-2 months on a project. We called it Autopilot, Argo CD Autopilot. The main motivation of the Autopilot tool is to provide an opinionated way of installing Argo CD in a GitOps approach way, and also to provide a GitOps approach way to fully maintain applications that are eventually deployed on multiple environments, and to do all of that in a completely GitOps approach in an idiomatic way means that you can potentially delete entire clusters and be able to install it again. This is basically the Autopilot tool. What we will do today, we'll show you a very nice demo that the team members have prepared. It's basically a summary of a blog post we already created that you can check out later. And afterwards, we'll move a little bit to some Q&A session, and we'll show you the roadmap, and we'll be happy to answer any other questions. So we'll move to Noam, which will show the demo.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm sharing my screen. Okay, hello. I'm going to show you the quick demo of how to create the GitHub repo and how to manage it using the Argo CD CI, or Autopilot CI, sorry. Okay, so first thing I've done before, I've exported a Git token. So basically, I have it already, but you just export it from your GitHub, currently support GitHub, and then all the commands will use it automatically. It's not a mandatory step. You can always just support the token on each command. And the first command, I'll just create a new repository. We'll just create a demo under my name in GitHub. Okay, so this command is basically not doing much GitOps or anything. The only thing it has done so far is just an empty repository, completely empty. But now this command, now I'm exporting the repo as well, and this is the command I'm doing on the magic. This command will install Argo CD on my current cluster. Currently, I'm connected to a GKE cluster. It will create some folder structure on the repo that I just created. And it will also create the applications over there. One application will manage the Argo CD itself, and another application will be used later to create more projects and applications, and also by the CLI. So running this. So it's basically cloning the repo. It's doing some stuff over on the cluster. Apart from the bootstrap, the other commands we will see later, most of them do not require access to the cluster. They will only work on the Git repo. And the few commands that do currently require the cluster, we are working on improving that and making everything work only through GitOps. So our aim is to have only the bootstrap touch the cluster. This is what we're going for. So currently we have applied the Argo CD and application set on the cluster. Now we're waiting for the server to be ready. We can see here the pods are already starting to run. Everything is running. This is applying some of the applications. And now if I look back at the repo, I can see this basic structure. Over here we have the bootstrap folder. This contains two Argo CD applications. One application, the Argo CD application, is referencing this folder. And over here we have a customization that basically installs Argo CD, and so this repo has Argo CD and application set, and it also creates the namespace. So we have it here. And the second application that we are installing is the root application, and this one is referencing this folder, which is currently empty. It only has some MD file. You can read here how to create more projects. I'll show you in the demo as well. And the third folder we're creating is the customized folder. And again, this one is currently empty. This folder will hold all the applications we will deploy to our clusters. So again, we have some information, but there's no real information, no real manifest in here currently. And I'll also run this port forwarding here. And here, this is the initial password, and I can see the Argo CD UI and see those applications. So we have two applications, Argo CD and root. And we have the third application is the Bootstrap application, which actually looks at the Bootstrap folder. So this is the only application we applied directly to the server, to the cluster. So we applied this one, and it caused the other two applications to be deployed. So this is the state currently after the Bootstrap, and now I can start creating projects. So here I'm creating a project called prod, or just the name. Basically, in Autopilot, the project has two resources. It's an Argo CD project and an application set as well. So now if refresh, I look at the root application and refresh it. Here we see two resources that are basically the autopilot project, but still, we still don't have any applications. And now if I add an application, so now an application, I give it a name. I give it a name, and I give it a source. And basically, we are just creating a customization file that references this. And this is the project I'm adding it to. Okay, and now if we look and refresh, do it here. This is the application we just created, and it's now getting deployed to my cluster. The port forwarding isn't working well. Okay, so it's getting deployed to my cluster. And if I look also in the repo, I can see, well, this is the project I created earlier. So this YAML has the app project, obviously the app project and the application set. And if I'm looking at the customized folder, I can see the app I just created, and it has a base, which this points to this. So the base is referencing the app parameter I supplied. And the overlay, which is currently, we only have one overlay, is referencing the base. And over here, I can add more stuff, add patches or images, and we'll show you later. But this configuration is what's creating the application using the application set. And I can also see. Something is not very well here with my UI. Okay, it's not loading. Okay, so now I'm going to add a different project, and this time I'm adding a project which will be connected to run on a different cluster completely. So it's not, I'm running on this one, this is mine, and I'm running on a different one. I'm going to create a project on a different one. Currently, this command does require access to the Argo CD. We hope to make it better. Okay, it's working. And now we can add an application. So I'm basically adding the same application because it has the same name, but I'm adding it to a different project. So now if I look here and refresh the root application. Here, so this is the staging app, and over here we can see it's on a different destination cluster. And again, it's just being deployed over there, and everything is managed through the GitHub. So all the CLI, everything it did was commit here. So now in overlays, I have two different overlays. One is for the project, one is for staging. And over here, we can see how it's directing that application to be on a different cluster. Okay, so now basically, no, it doesn't work here. So I have those two applications and two projects, two clusters. I can also have you can see the list of my projects, and I can also list the app in a specific project. Okay, so here's just the list currently on the staging project. I can also create an application on a different cluster than the project. The project cluster is just the default cluster for applications. So now that I have two different applications that are like on different projects, I can start adding here. I can add maybe a different image for this overlay. So this is just basically, I will override the image over there. So all I'm doing is a simple commit on Git, well, like any other usage of Argo CD, but we hope to be having these kind of features inside the Autopilot CLI itself. So it'll be easier to do these kind of things, but here it's syncing, it's creating a new service. And of course, I can also just edit the base if I want to, and then it will affect all the different projects at the same time. So if I'm adding it here, it will affect both the staging and the production. So, and I can do anything I want in either location and affect all the different, like if I need a specific project or other projects. Basically, that's it. And we're working on some more commands to delete projects, delete applications, and then we want to also have the power to promote environments from staging to production, or from testing to staging, or whatever. So that's stuff we have in our roadmap. Basically, that's it. This is the demo.
Thank you, Noam. So I saw a few questions here in the chat, so we'll be happy to answer questions before moving on to showing a little bit about the roadmap and the architecture. So feel free to ask. I saw a question about the RBAC for the projects, something like that. So Noam, if you can elaborate a little bit about that.
About what, sorry?
About what are the RBAC configurations for the project setups at the moment?
Sorry, I'm not sure if everything currently is over here is like defaults, but of course everything we can change it or add more flags.
Yeah, the default configurations for the RBAC are just open for everything. So this is like the default behavior at the moment.
The installation of the Argo CD itself by default is cluster install, but we have a flag to install it on a namespace option. And also the entire bootstrap command can accept a different source for your Argo CD installation. So as long as it contains Argo CD and application set, it should work. So the bootstrap can have whatever you want in there.
Are there any questions maybe?
So my question was, how will we maintain the RBAC? Will the RBAC for these applications and projects be stored in the Kubernetes at the backend, or will that also be in GitHub?
Currently, anything you'll put in GitHub will be applied to the cluster, so you can manage it through here. So yeah, basically, if you have the resources for your RBAC here, you can have it in the GitHubs. It all depends on what you applied, what's your application.
Okay. So is there a structure I should be using inside GitHub for that?
So this structure is at the moment, this is the way Autopilot is building the repo. Everything, I didn't mention it before, but again, in the Bootstrap, it is possible to have all of that inside a subfolder. So you can have an existing repo that has other things and Bootstrap into a specific folder in there. So it doesn't have to be on the root of the repo, but other than that, those three folders are a must. That's how the Bootstrap is working. But then a specific application that you created, a specific manifest or customized folder, you can manage it however you want and then just install from it. And then when you install the app basically will just point to wherever you put your application. There is also an option if you want to, if you have the manifest files locally on your hard drive, then instead of having a customization here, the base will just contain install YAML file with everything flat, all the resources. So it is an option. I imagine it will be mostly useful for quick POCs and demos. I don't think so, but maybe there's more use cases for it.
I have a question if Autopilot would work with, can it manage many repos, or is it currently a mono repo?
So yeah, the CLI itself, currently I have I set up this n variable. I don't have to set it up. I can send it in on every command, and I can have every command go to a different repo and work on it. But currently every repo has to be a complete solution. So it has to be bootstrapped and it has to contain an Argo CD installation on it. So there's nothing to prevent you from having several different such a GitHub's repo, but they're not all managed by the same Argo CD at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can you talk a little bit about when is the relationship between projects and the applications? Is that something the user can choose for themselves, or is there some kind of mapping that is the Autopilot decides for that project and the application?
So basically, just yeah, the term we use for project, the Argo CD Autopilot project, contains two resources. So it's an Argo CD project and application set. So just here in the UI, you can see there's two of each, application set and project for every single Autopilot project. It's nothing the user shouldn't care about it, I hope. The application set is the one that's in charge of creating the application, because when you're adding an application, we basically add a config JSON file on a specific location, and then the application set. Can you see here? Can show it here, and then the application set will create the specific application. So let's say the programmer is basically just looking at here. So everything under customize, whatever application, overlays prod. So all the config JSONs that are matching this path will create an application. So this is how we basically commit the config JSON. And if you add the files around it, and this is what causes the application to appear. And then the project is used to separate the application, and also in the future we'll add more ways to define all the permission on which cluster and from which GitHub repo. So it will be more fine-tuned to whatever every specific project needs. So this is just some simple defaults currently. Any more questions? I can.
So if there are no more questions, maybe let's pass to Oren to talk a little bit about the roadmap, which is super interesting, to see where the Autopilot will move ahead from here. We have all sorts of thoughts and things that we would like to get feedback, so we can decide about the prioritization. So Oren, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Itai. So first, I would like to mention that the roadmap is available on the Read the Docs site, and the reference to the documentation is found in the Argo CD Autopilot repository. And I would like to take this opportunity and encourage every one of you to check our issues page. So this roadmap is actually based on the issues page that is associated with the repository. So you can either add more issues, thumbs up or thumbs down, any issues that you would like that will gain a priority, and so on and so forth. Okay, so regards the roadmap that we thought about it, I would like to talk about the next few items. The repository upgrade and uninstall. For now, we don't support upgrade. By upgrade means that the ability to upgrade the Argo CD that we are currently installing in the bootstrap command. So this is the first item. Second item is about the way how to install this Argo CD that is being installed. We would like also to support a way to upgrade an app. So when an app, for example, whether a new tag that is associated with some app is being published, so we would like to that Argo CD will be aware of this tag, and we will offer either manual or automatic way to upgrade the app and to create pull requests that will be applied to the cluster. Will be applied to the Git repository. Delete app is we already implemented. Next item is storing secrets. As for today, the Git token that is that we are using to create to have the access to the Git repository is being stored on Kubernetes. So we would like to find a good way to use secrets in a GitOps approach, and of course storing also the Git token in this way. So we are thinking about integrating with external secret stores like Seal Secret or Vault or any other secret store providers, and we would like to provide out of the box a store solution in case there's no one exists on the cluster. A very cool feature that we thought about is the promote feature. I think it was already raised in the contributor forum last week. So we would like to provide a way that one can promote its changes from one environment to the second environment. For example, the example that you have a staging environment, and you would like to promote the changes after being verified into your production environment. So we're going to introduce such a command and such a process, and also a way to promote a specific environment to all the environments. And I mean environments, I mean projects. Another item is the multiple Argo CD installation. So as for today, we have one Argo CD to rule them all. Like Noam demonstrated, there was one Argo CD installation that actually controlled two clusters. So we would like to support a way that either Argo CD was already installed, and the autopilot will work with it automatically, and of course support a scenario where Argo CD is going to be installed on per cluster. So this is also an important item on our roadmap. Also, we got request to support 10. For now, we are only supporting customize. So we need to support other templating languages. So probably the next one will be Helm, or everything the community will choose to implement. And regards the repo create, for now we support GitHub repo create. So we would like to support also Bitbucket and GitLab. So any question on the roadmap? And this is the issues page, just like we talked.
As in,
sorry,
real quick. As in,
yeah, sure.
as an end user, if we wanted to vote for certain prioritization, where would we go to submit that vote?
Okay, so for example, if you would like to thumb up for so introduce the repo upgrade command, just click in, and there is where is it? Sorry.
On the smiley icon, you can have a thumbs up next to it between the collaborator and the three dots.
Sorry.
Yeah, here. No, Oren,
Yeah.
on the smiley next to the collaborator text.
Okay. Thanks. So I just did it today. I probably forgot. Sorry. Thanks, guys. So just a thumbs up or any other reaction, and of course, according to community, we will pick the items, the issues that get more thumbs up, or any other affection icon, and we will try to implement it.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So last thing that we wanted to show a little bit is show a little bit the architecture and show what is the process of contribution and the release lifecycle a little bit. So let's move, Roy, if you can share a little bit. Starting from the architecture. Show it.
Yeah, I don't have the architecture ready. Just a second. Yeah, I hope you can see that. Can you see it, guys?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so basically, what you can see is just what Noam ran in the demo. So we have the autopilot CLI, which is separated from all of the Argo CLI, and basically what it does the first time it accesses the cluster to apply the Bootstrap manifest, and after that, the only times it accesses the cluster, or it never accesses the cluster after that, but the only time it did access the Argo CD was to actually connect it to the other cluster. So both of these actions will probably be performed only once, and after that, all of the accesses will be directly to Git to create new applications and manage the environments and all of the already created stuff. So of course, you can also do it manually through Git, but we would like to provide doing the trivial things like adding an application, deleting it through the CLI. But all of that can also be managed through Git. So that's the architecture. Now to the actual release lifecycle and contributions. So the repo itself is managed like any other open source repo, similar to many of the other Argo projects. So of course, you're welcome to create issues and submit a pull request, and I'll just show you one pull request, for example. So you can see once you create a pull request, we run a CI pipeline, which you can see here. So we use CodeFresh currently to run the CI pipelines, and you can easily just click on it. It will also show next to each commit, and it will link you to the actual build. So you can check what went wrong or just check the results. And after you're ready to have that PR checked, you can just ask for a review, and then when we are ready to merge, we will merge it to the main branch, and then from there, once we are ready to create a new release, we will just go to a release branch, and then from there, we will run the release pipeline, which you can see here. So it's basically pretty simple. It's just running the CI pipeline and builds the binaries and creates a GitHub release and does all the boring stuff. So of course you can see all of the releases here with the installation and the documentation, all of the new features. And that's pretty much it. Another thing I will say is we have a Slack channel. You can see it here. Also, we have a link to the official proposal documentation. So you can see it here and also probably suggest some changes. And we also have a getting started link, which will just link you to the documentation. So that's pretty much it.
Thanks, Zoe. So if there are no other questions or thoughts, then we're pretty much finished what we wanted to do.
All right. Thank you, CodeFresh, for that awesome presentation about autopilot. Looks like it's in already a really far along shape from the last time, or like a month ago when you guys were talking to us about it. Okay, so actually that was the agenda for this month. We had one that we pushed off till next month, but actually next month we wanted to present about a hackathon project that we did at Intuit to support Argo CD style notifications, but for rollouts. So the idea is that you will annotate your rollout with the same style of annotations that you do with Argo CD notifications, and then you can then get kind of lifecycle messages or like Slack messages or emails or pages on interesting events about your rollout. So look forward to the next meeting, but we knew that this would take most of the meeting, so I pushed it out to next. As always, you can always add items that you want on the agenda that you want to discuss, and we still have some extra time now in case anyone wants to bring up any topics.
I was just going to add on that Argo autopilot thing. I just posted in the chat a link to the blog post announcing it, so feel free to share that and use it to follow along. And I had a pretty good experience with it, so good work at Ty and Noam and the rest of the team.
Yeah, great job. All right. So if there's no other agenda topics, we can end a little bit early today. So yeah, again, feel free to update the Google Doc with agenda items for demos or anything you'd like to discuss about the projects. All right. Yeah, thank you, everyone. And we'll see you in about 2 weeks for the workflows community meeting.
Thanks,
Bye,
everyone. Take care.